Can we take away anything from this game?
Let's start with the positive.
Yeah, right.
Yes. It was a dominant performance. It was expected to be, and the United States came in and left no doubt whatsoever because, 5 minutes in, they're up 3-0, and then it's game, set, match, everything is over. But they did deliver on the expectation that they are a superior team to Cuba. We all knew that coming into this game, and then 7-0 will tell you, that is still the case. So give the U.S. credit. There was a job to do. They did the job. After that, let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy because this is inferior opposition, and the definition of inferior opposition, it felt like every player for the United States had a circle of trust, some sort of protection halo around them because Cuba could not get close to anybody whatsoever. And so I read people saying things like, they really worked well on the patterns of play under Gregg Berhalter. Patterns of play. Patterns of play against Cuba, patterns of play?
Yeah.
They get more out of playing an inter-squad match than they do playing against a team like Cuba. That's fact. That's not a matter of opinion. That's factual information. It's that there was nothing about this game that the players would be like, we really were able to work on certain things and we were really tested and we did this and we did that. Not so much. So if I were Gregg Berhalter, I would be telling them exactly the same thing that I'm saying right here and right now. Look, there was a job to do. We did the job. This is a step forward, but we need to take many more steps forward to be where we need to be.
But if you're someone like McKennie, you still get a hat-trick.
Yeah.
It still counts as a player.
Yeah, of course it counts. And he's not going to give the goals back. He's not going to say, let me tell you something, just because it was Cuba, I was going to take it easy on them. No, you take the goals, you take the performances, you take the experience, I suppose, but you know that this is not the standard. Yeah. You know that there is something higher out there and that you should evaluate yourself at a higher standard than whatever Cuba could provide.
The reason the Nations League worked so well in its first season in Europe was the fact that you had proper opposition playing proper games. Mm-hmm. This group is a mess. Mm-hmm. Like, why don't you have a group that is Mexico, the US, Costa Rica, and just have that? Because it just doesn't seem to make any sense.
Right, and so it goes back to the comments that Jurgen Klinsmann made a couple of weeks ago where he was talking about the CONCACAF Nations League as a waste of time for the United States. And when you see a game like this, then it's hard to argue against that point. That what does the United States truly get out of playing a team like Cuba? Nothing. No. Nothing.
And they're going to play them away, and they're going to play Canada, and they're going to win all these games.
And everybody's going to feel great about the U.S., but really, have you learned anything?
Yeah.
Do you know anything? Do you know any more about Josh Sargent today than you did yesterday? Do you know anything more about Weston McKennie today than you did yesterday, other than the fact that he scored a hat-trick against Cuba? You don't know much more about what you have in your team by playing a team like Cuba. You simply don't.
It's a young, transitional squad, though. Mm-hmm. So does it give them confidence, give them playing time? Or does the fact that it's Cuba take away all of that?
Well, no, but there's got to be perspective. There's got to be context to this. You can't just say, we're confident because we beat Cuba, because you could also say, that's a false sense of security.
Right.
Because you're not going to play a team like this every day that you step out on the field. And you should not evaluate yourself and analyze yourself based upon this performance. If you are to improve as a national team and you are in a process in which you want to get better, this is not the game that makes you better.
Right.
This is not the experience that makes you better. Yes, you feel better about yourself. Yes, there's confidence going forward to the next game. Yes, there are goals. Yes, you can say that there's dynamic movement and that there was a job to be done and you did that job and you created chances and you scored goals. All those things are good. You win a game 7-0, that's not a reason to be sad. Mm-hmm. You'll be excited about it. But there also has to be a realistic approach, an objective approach in saying, okay, that was good, but it really doesn't solve anything for us. We now have to continue to move in the right direction.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.